That's the sound which kicks cyclists into gear at the Hardcourt Domain on Friday nights and Sunday afternoons. Christchurch Hardcourt Bike Polo Incorporated have been playing down here for almost a year, thanks to organiser Craig Johnson, who discovered the sport on the internet. He says what draws a lot of people in is the team atmosphere.
That's one thing in cycling you can do as a group. Cycling tends to be a pretty individual sort of sport, whether it's mountain biking or road riding. You're out there for yourself, whereas this is actually a team sport. You're reliant on the other two people who are in your team. You're on a very small court with 6 other people who are all bike fanatics, so you don't get that opportunity to do that in cycling usually.
So the sport involves 2 teams of 3 players trying to hit a little orange ball through road cones at the end of a tennis court. Simple, right? But there's a certain amount of etiquette involved.
Well, the first rule of bike polo is don't be a dickhead, and then the contact rules are play another player as you would like them to play it back to you. So if you're happy to be a bit roughed up on court, then go right ahead and rough up the said player who's also happy to do so. If you don't want to be touched, if you want a clean line and keep it that way, then play the other player in that way. And plus everyone knows everyone else.
And while riding around in a small space may seem to be hazardous to the body, it's possibly more of a risk to the bikes, as participant Aaron Twemlow explains.
Okay, I'm on my 3rd back wheel and 9th rear tyre, so I'm a bit reckless on the bikes, and everyone tends to just buy a cheap runabout and use that. I bought mine for $10 on Trade Me and fixed it up to be a polo bike.
However, Mr. Johnson says a bonus of the sport is the do-it-yourself attitude towards equipment.
You don't really need too much. You need a bike that goes. It doesn't have to be anything special, and the mallets that we use are made out of old ski poles and water pipe, so they're custom made. So there's a lot of DIY about it. Lots of people have arrived on expensive bikes and have very quickly gone out and bought a $30 bike that will do just fine.
Some would say biking around chasing a small ball sounds crazy, so why do they do it?
It's a chance to be a big kid again and do big skids and basically jump around and be silly on bikes.
It's surprisingly a low impact sport, and so girls can compete equally with the guys, so you don't really have to worry about those sort of gender imbalance things about strength and skills, because it is actually down to your skills on the bike.
Well, I think most of the people here are right into bikes, so really it's bike polo is just another excuse to get on a bike and do something, and it's another excuse to have another bike. You know, the ideal amount of bikes is the amount in your garage plus one.
I was dragged into it kicking and screaming by my husband, and it's one of those things, if you can't beat him, join him.
And judging by the number of participants, that's exactly what many cyclists are doing.